Recognize Mr. Massie.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to direct everybody's attention to a video that we're going to play here. And we're just going to play about 10 or 15 seconds of this. That's enough. You can pause it. So, Mr. Daniels, you were an air traffic controller at one point. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, 26 years.
So can you tell me what we're looking at there on the screen?
You're looking at a display of a visual tower. We call it the STARS scope. It's what they're looking at. It's what they're referencing for traffic in and around the area.
My constituents are always shocked when I tell them this is what air traffic controllers use in 2025 to monitor air traffic near airports. What is the age of this system? Does anybody know when these kind of scopes first came out?
I do have and again, thank you for the question. I do have a unique background in 1999 in the United States Marine Corps. I helped test that system when it was first rolling out. So it's been around since them in early testing.
So we're looking at a display that's, it looks like it's 40 years old, but maybe it's 25 years old, or a quarter of a century. I know there's a desire not to complicate the screen, not to put too much information on there for air traffic controllers to distract them. And I know they're probably extremely proficient at using this information at deconflicting air traffic. But it just, anybody who looks at this screen and wonders how is this 2025 and this is the state of the art for air traffic control in the United States of America is really perplexed in my mind, or in my experience. Ms. Krause, can you talk about these legacy systems and when is the last time they've been updated substantially from this?
Yeah, I mean, I think, as we point out in our report and in my statement, there's about a third of the systems that are deemed unsustainable. So that means that they have challenges with finding spare parts, expertise, retirement of technicians that can help maintain these systems, as well as some could run into funding issues as well. I think whenever you're looking at modernization, you have to assess a couple of different areas, like whether a system needs modernizing, what are the costs, what are the risks, what's the criticality, what's the system performance, and so. Certainly, we are seeing an aging ATC system and a need to make sure FAA is addressing those unsustainable systems.
When we unfortunately have to go back and review video and audio from situations that happen, like this recent crash, it seems like the audio is sometimes just barely intelligible when we get to listen to it. Is this the case? I mean, why is there static? Why is it hard to understand the communications between air traffic control and the plane sometimes? Is that an artifact of the recording device, or is that actually what they're hearing when they're talking to each other? Anybody feel free to answer that.
Congressman, I'll start out by saying, again, thank you for the question. Quite often it is as garbled as you hear. Multiple aircraft on multiple frequencies. We continue to work with any persons or any contractors to improve it, but there are many occasions where we use standardized phraseology for those very moments. We know what the pilot's gonna say. They know and expect what to hear back, so that way we reduce those communications. And even when it may sound garbled to somebody else, they know and understand our instructions, and if they don't, we ensure that we take the opportunity and time. We do what's called hear back, read back. We tell it to them, they have to tell it to us, and we make sure it's exact and matches.
In the recent collision at DCA, there was some question as to whether the helicopter actually heard one of the last instructions to it when we replayed it. What can we do to improve, anybody here who wants to, Ms. Krause, is there anything that you know that we could do to improve the audio between communications?
I mean, part of the next-gen effort is to implement data communications improvements. So again, to improve, provide text-like communications between pilots and the controllers, but there may be some other folks that have thoughts on that question as well.
Congressman Massie, when we fly, to have this digital capability is a true force enhancer, because if the number of misreads out there is truly significant. The controllers are talking on multiple frequencies, sometimes just directly to you, but then they're broadcasting, what is the ride at this altitude, but also very specific information. When we get this through the data communications, it's amazing how quiet it gets up at the flight levels. And we're just now starting to exploit that capability. It really is a great enhancer for the great work that our controllers do. And with the amount of traffic that we see soon to be in the system, we're going to need more and more of that capability.
Thank you, Mr. Bunce. I yield back.
Thank you, sir.